And finally, hey again all, this is Nathan from Star Wars Beyond the Films over at StarWarsReport.com. This is our look at the last of the expansion sets for the Star Wars X-Wing miniatures game from Fantasy Flight Games. We've taken a look at all the expansions in the order that they were listed on the expansion material. So the first one we looked at was X-Wing, then we looked at the TIE Fighter, then the Y-Wing. Now we look at the second of the two that you cannot find in the starter set. That is the TIE Advanced in this case. What we have here is a new Imperial ship. Nicely done, essentially modeled around Vader's TIE Fighter from A New Hope, but of course, we know that in the broader expanded universe, it's used quite a bit more. This one, you wouldn't think that it's particularly fragile compared to, say, the other TIE Fighters or the X-Wing. Those wings are held on by very small prongs, however. When mine arrived, that, as in this case, from your point of view, the left-hand wing was broken off. I had to go and use a tiny bit of super glue and stick it back on. Still looks great. I mean, you can't notice that it was ever missing or ever separated, but yeah, it was. So a little bit more fragile than the others, even though it does not look like it. It's not that entire width that is attached to the wings. It's just the prongs. Of course, with this, you get a new maneuver dial, as one would, of course, expect. And that means you also have your new reference material here coming from the back of the package. We have sort of a mixture here of what the contents are, though. It's not quite the same as a TIE Fighter. On the same token, it is also not quite the same as what we get with the X-Wing or the Y-Wing. Again, we have two sets of ship IDs, 18 and 19, so 19 is the highest we have so far. These do have shields, so we have two shield tokens just like in the X-Wing set. Remember, the TIE Fighter set had none, the Y-Wings had 3, X-Wing identical with 2. Just like with the TIE Fighters, we have one focus token, one evade token, a stress token, a critical hit token. Just like what we had with the X-Wing, we have two sets of target lock icons here. We have U with V on the other side, and T with, was it S on the other side? Yeah, T with S on the other side in this case. We have 5 different upgrade cards, just like we had in all but the TIE Fighter set. The TIE Fighter set only had 2. We have concussion missiles, cluster missiles, squad leader, expert handling over here, which comes, it's basically the same thing that we saw with the X-Wing set, and we have swarm tactics, which returns from the TIE Fighter expansion set. Here, just like with the X-Wing and Y-Wing sets, we have 4 different pilot cards, whereas for the TIE Fighter set, we had 6. These are pretty cool ones, though. We have Darth Vader himself. We have Merrick Steele, right from the TIE Fighter video games, and an Emperor's Hand. And we have 2 generics, Storm Squadron pilot, who is new, Tempest Squadron pilot, also new. That also means we have new ship tokens. We have Darth Vader. On the back of his is where we'll find Storm Squadron pilot. Merrick Steele. On the back of his is where we'll find the Tempest Squadron pilot. Again, another nice set here. Doesn't really introduce a whole lot of new mechanics, but you got a couple new secondary weapons here. We've got new pilots, and of course, since they're all ship specific, these are the only this is the only type of ship these will work with at this point. You can't use them on regular TIE Fighters. So if you're an Imperial player, you're looking to supplement yourself with something that sort of ups the game, brings in a more powerful type of ship, albeit one that's going to cost more to play in terms of squad points, you might want to check out the TIE Advanced. It's a cool looking ship, and of course, you know, you can always recreate what you see if you have the starter set in this. You could recreate what we see, of course, at the end in the trench in A New Hope. One TIE Advanced and a couple of TIE Fighters flanking it, chasing down some pesky little X-Wings. A nice set, again, about $15. You can get it cheaper at places like miniaturemarket.com, but I think worth the investment if you're going to be picking up the X-Wing game to play if you're going to be playing as an Imperial. If you're going to be playing as a Rebel, then, you know, that may be $15 just to have something sitting on the shelf. A good set, though. We will be back again with more video content for Star Wars Beyond the Films.